Jim had paid for the room, but he didn't rest in it. He had just abandoned it abruptly. And the strangest part was what he did with the room key. Now, according to the accounts Matt found, the room key was locked inside the room. Now, if you're just stepping out to get ice or grab something from your car, you take your key with you. Or if you're checking out normally, you leave the key at the front desk. But locking the key inside means you're leaving on purpose and you're not coming back. Jim, who was already running on zero sleep and was completely exhausted, had bought a bottle of vodka, gone to his room, and then for some unknown reason, locked the key inside and walked away. He didn't sleep, he didn't rest, he just left. And now Matt is looking at this and he's trying to figure out what could possibly make a guy who was that exhausted abandon everything. It didn't make any sense. Was he spooked by something? I mean, did he get a sudden burst of manic energy and decide to get back on the road? Or was his mind playing tricks on him after being awake for so long? Well, whatever the reason, Jim was now back out in the world, running on fumes and making decisions that defied logic. So as Matt keeps digging, he starts searching for some kind of psychological motive for Jim's erratic behavior. And he's wondering if maybe Jim was planning to do something drastic. And during his research, Matt uncovers a quote from Jim's former manager, a man named Robert Buster Ginter. Buster recalled the conversation that he'd had with Jim years earlier, and Buster said that Jim had once told him that if he ever wanted to just, disappear, he would simply walk into the desert and never come back. Now, when Matt reads this, it feels like a massive clue. It suggests that Jim had previously fantasized about vanishing, or maybe even committing suicide out in the wilderness. It makes it sound like he was just this tortured artist who finally had enough, drove out to New Mexico and just wanted to end it all on his own terms. It makes the abandoned motel room make a twisted kind of sense. I mean, if Jim was planning to walk into the desert and never come back, he wouldn't need to sleep in that bed. He wouldn't need to check out at the front desk. He would just leave. So Matt tracks down the next confirmed sighting of Jim to see if it lines up with this theory. And he finds that the following day, on March 6th, Jim was actually seen by people. He was spotted near a place called Puerto de Luna, hanging around a ranch owned by a family named the Genettis. Now, when Matt reads this, he pulls out a map because he wants to see exactly where Puerto de Luna is in relation to Santa Rosa and Jim's route to Nashville. And as Matt is looking at the map tracing the highway going east, he finds Puerto de Luna, and he realizes that this ranch is 20 to 26 miles off of Jim's route. So this wasn't a case of Jim just taking a wrong exit here or getting turned around. To get this specific ranch, Jim had to make a massive and deliberate detour into remote, rugged territory. He had driven way out into the middle of nowhere, and so Matt is looking at this map and he's focusing on the ranch owners, the Genetti family, because Jim didn't get lost. I mean, you don't accidentally drive 26 miles away from the highway. He was either actively fleeing from something or he was lured out there. And the fact that he was seen at this specific ranch interacting with these specific people changes everything. Jim wasn't wandering aimlessly. He had a very specific destination, or at least he ended up at one. Now Matt has to try and figure out why Jim went to that ranch and what happened to him once he got there. Because if Jim was looking for help, why didn't he just go back to the police? Why drive out into the scrubland? Matt realizes that this ranch is the hinge point of the whole mystery. Whatever happened to Jim Sullivan, it started right here. So Matt begins digging into the history of the Genetti Ranch and those who lived there. And what he uncovers are these dark, persistent rumors. According to a piece in the Los Angeles Review of Books, there were talks around town that the Genetti family had mafia ties.